Hi, my name's Claire Boney and I'm from the Inspire team. Today I'm going to show you how to make a story in Scratch, so how to create your own story using a choice of 3 different characters, using 2 different scenes and some dialogue that you may want to. So by the end of this you'll be able to create a really super story, and I look forward to seeing those. Here's one that I have created already, and that's what we're going to be doing today.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. So go on the top line, go up to create. And you'll see it starts to create a new project for you. You'll see your stage, your screen there with your little cat sprite on it. We want to delete the cat sprite. So if you press on the sprite icon and press a little delete bin, and then bottom right there's a blue circle with the cat sprite and a little plus mark, press on that. If we use the magnifying glass, we can pick a character that's already on Scratch. If you use the paintbrush, you can create your own characters. You can have some fun with that later. And the top one, you could upload a photograph of a person if you wanted them to be your main character. We're just going to choose a Scratch character, so I'm going to simply choose one. And along the top line you'll see all the different categories. So I'm going to choose people. Okay, and I think the first character I'm going to choose is I'm going to choose this one here, which is D Money. It's up to you, you can choose which one you like, and then you just simply click on it and you will see him appear on your stage there, on your backdrop. So we want to also rename him because I don't want him to be called D Money Dance. So you'll see it says Sprite, and where it says D Money Dance, I'm just going to delete that and I will call him Tommy today, I think. Tommy. Okay, so I now have my character Tommy. So now I want to do a backdrop for him, and I've decided today I'm going to tell a story about a castle. So I'm going to look for a castle backdrop. So bottom right corner on the backdrop button, and again you can choose one or create one of your own. Take a picture from the classroom perhaps, or some local scene and upload your own, or create your own with the paintbrush if you wish. I'm just going to choose one from here. I'm going to type in the search button castle, and you'll see it brings up 4 different images of a castle. I think I'll choose castle 4, and then it appears on your stage. Now Tommy is looking rather large in comparison to other people at the castle that are visiting, so underneath where it says sprite name Tommy, if you go into the size, and at the moment it says 100, you could create Tommy half the size by making that 50, or 3/4 of the size by making it 75. It's up to you, you can make whatever size you wish. And then just press on it and you'll see that Tommy now is smaller. If I still think he's too big, I could alter it again. I'll alter it to 50, and now you see he is a lot smaller. Okay, now so to start your story, you want to make your character say something. So what we want to do is we want to go to the looks category on the left hand side, which is a purpley colour. And you want to use the first block, which is say something, for 2 seconds. So if you pull that out, and I'm going to change the hello to I am so excited to be at the castle. Okay, I'm so excited to be at the castle. Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is to choose when the green flag is clicked. So we go into events, which is a yellowy colour, and when the green flag is clicked, if you pull out that block and join it up, and then you can press the green flag just to check, and you can see that I'm so excited to be at the castle will appear for a period of 2 seconds. And so that Tommy can have a conversation with someone, we're going to choose a second sprite or your second character in your story. So if you go down to the blue circle at the bottom and the add sprite and the magnifying glass, I'm going to go into the people category because it's a person that I would like to go with, and then you can just scroll through and you can check who you would like him to be at the castle with. I'm going to choose LB Dance here, and I've chosen LB Dance and she appears here. I don't want her to be called LB Dance, so you can call her whatever you like. I'll call her Sally in this instance. And again, she's far too big, so I think we made Tommy 50, which was half the size he came up as. Let's try the same. Is that a more appropriate size? Yes, and you can position Sally wherever you would like to at the castle by simply holding the sprite and dragging it. Okay, so now we want to make Sally say something to Tommy. So we're on the Sally Sprite because you can see the icon is blue at the bottom. So what you want to do is you want to go into the looks category again, which is the purple one, and say something for 2 seconds again, and click on the hello, and I think Sally will say, yes, I can't wait. And that's for 2 seconds as well. And again, you want to go to the control category, which is the orangey colour, and you're going to pull out the wait block at the top there. So this time, instead of the green flag, you're going to wait. And because we said that Tommy's speech was going to last for 2 seconds, we need to make her wait for 2 seconds before she speaks. So she'll now wait for 2 seconds and then say what she needs to say. Okay, so what we're going to do now is make them have their conversation but wait on each other to finish what they're saying first. So what we need to do, first of all, we're still on Sally. We need to give her a green flag to say that she can go. So if you go into events, pull out the green flag and put it at the top of her block of coding. Okay, now we're going to click back on the Tommy icon and go back and work on Tommy. So what we're going to do there is that we're going to use control to tell him to wait for 2 seconds before he speaks, and change the 1 second to 2 seconds, and then go back into looks and bring out one of the say blocks, and it's saying something for 2 seconds. So if you click on the hello and say, in this case he's going to say let's go inside, but it'll be whatever you want to say on your story. And if you join up that coding block, then we should find, if we press the green flag now, that the conversation flows. Yes, I'm so excited about the castle. Yes, I can't wait. Let's go inside. Perfect. What we really want to do as well is now to make your characters go inside the castle. So we want to switch backdrops. So in order to do that, we are still in looks, which is the purple one, and you'll see if you have a look down the list, it says switch backdrop 2. If you pull that out, it says here castle 7. So you go back into backdrops. You're not going to press any, you're only going to look for what you want to choose. So if I go into castle and see what it's called, and I want to go inside, which is called castle 3. So if you just pop back, and I'm going to just drop that down to castle 3, then they should be able to then go inside. Okay, what you can then do is join them up, and if you press on the green flag, we will see. And yes, they appear inside the castle. Okay, so you can test how you're doing this far. If you press the green flag, you'll see the conversation appears. However, there's only one problem, and that is that they haven't gone back to the start of being outside the castle before they actually enter into the castle. So how we fix that is we go into the looks control and we pull out switch backdrop again and pull it out. And I know that the outside of the castle was castle 4. You might want to check what your original one was called. Castle 4 was my original backdrop. And again, we need to use the control the events when green flag pressed, and put that up above. If we test it now, it should always go back to your original scene in the beginning. And it does, and now they're inside the castle. Okay, so now we're inside the castle. We're going to get a third character or sprite to appear. So what we want to do is choose that. So if you go into sprite and search, I'm going to search for a ghost because it's a haunted castle in my story. And I'm going to click on the ghost and you'll see he appears there again. You can have him hovering about, you can have him large, or you can decrease or increase his size. I'll make him 75, so he's a little bit smaller. I'm going to put him hovering on the stair there. He's already called Ghost, so I'm quite happy to leave him at that. But if you want to change the name of a character, that is where you do it. So what I want him to do is to appear only inside the castle and to disappear when we're at the outside of the castle scene. So in order to be able to do that, we need to go into events. Okay, and you're looking to drag out the block when background switches to. So when it switches to it's the outside of the castle, which I had written down is Castle 4 is the picture of the outside. So when it changes to Castle 4, we want him to hide. Now you have to go into the looks category, which is the purple one, and go quite far down and you will see a show and a hide. So we want to pull out the hide and join that up so that when the background changes to Castle 4, which is outside the castle, the ghost will be hidden, okay? And then we want to go back into events and drag out when the backdrop switches to, and we want when it's inside the castle, we want him to appear. Now inside the castle, I have written it down, was Castle 3. It's a good idea for you to write down what your scenes are called so you don't have to flick in and out to try to remember which is which. And back into looks, and we want him to show when he comes into the castle. Okay. So we also want to make this third character say something. So we can make a character say something and use two different methods. We can count the seconds like we've been doing. We've been making them all 2 seconds so that the conversation follows quite smoothly. But when you start to get more than maybe three characters or more, it's often quite useful to use something called broadcast. And it's like an invisible message that a character sends out, and it can then make another character do something when it actually receives that message. So let's get the ghost to say something, and we'll save counting all the seconds on who's saying what in the conversation by using the broadcast method, which, as I said, if you've got 3 or more characters, is the best way to use it. So first of all, we're going to go to sprite 1, which is Tommy. So make sure you click on Tommy and that you're on his coding blocks. We're going to go into events, okay, which is the yellow, and we're going to pull out broadcast message 1. Broadcast message 1, which is there. And it's going to be after finished talking. So we want to put up here when he says, let's go inside. So broadcast message 1, after let's go inside, and then underneath it will be switched the backdrop to Castle 3. Then what we want to do is click on sprite 3, which is the ghost, because that's who we want to get to say something at this point. And then go into events. And we're looking for when I receive message 1. It's down here. If you pull that up, when I receive message 1, and then go into looks. And we're looking for the say box again and bringing it down here. So at the moment it says say hello, so you're going to click on the hello and then put what you want your ghost or whatever character to say. I'm going to write, are you ready for your guided tour? Are you ready for your guided tour? Okay. So now what we can do is we can check if that's working by pressing the green flag, and it should start from the beginning. You can see Tommy's speaking, then Sally speaks, Tommy replies, they go inside the castle, the ghost asks if they're ready for the guided tour. Okay, so finally what we're going to do is we're going to make Sally say something in reply to the ghost asking if they want to take a tour. So what you have to do is create a new message first. So if you go into events, you're still on the ghost or your third character, and then look for broadcast, and we're looking for broadcast message 1. Pull it out. And then we're clicking on new message, because this time we want it to make it message 2, because it's not the same as the first one. So now we've got broadcast message 2 there. Then the ghost can broadcast that message 2 when it finishes talking. So we'll join it up. Okay. And then what we want to do is click on Sally, because it's her we now want to reply to that. Go into events, and when I receive message 2 is what you're looking for. So when I receive message 2 is there. Okay. So when she receives message 2, you then need to go into looks, and she is going to say something. So bring out your say, and it will say hello for 2 seconds. Click on the hello and replace it with whatever she wants to say. I'm going to say, oh no, let's get out of here. Okay, and that's what she's going to say in my story. Okay, so what we can do now is, we should be finished, so if you want to click your green flag to check and see if your whole story comes up. You can see the two are having a conversation. They go inside the castle, the ghost says something, and she replies, oh no, let's get out of here. So that's our project finished. It's all working really well.
Well, I hope you've really enjoyed making your story on Scratch today, and I hope that you make lots of different stories with different scenes and different characters. So just to recap on what we should have learned today is how to make an actual story, how to switch between backdrops and make different things happen, how to use 3 different characters and have a conversation using either the wait blocks, or if you have 3 characters or more, using broadcast. So scratch on and get your teachers to share your work on Twitter.